Right, welcome back to part 2 of the podcast. Wayne basically wasn't paying attention to the watch and he forgot to give me a reminder.
That was your job. Your job, Barney.
It's
Take
on
responsibility.
It's on. He's saying I've only got one job and that's it. But I mean, I'm the brains of the show, so I can't do everything, can I? Right, okay then.
I think Stu was on about the facilities at the AJ Bell, weren't we? Do you want to finish that off, Stu, and then we'll take the next question?
Yeah, so we're moving forward as a club, and like I said, is you want a home and you want something to show as a club, and just been lucky enough that we've got our own gym now being set up, and just waiting for most of the equipment to land hopefully the back end of this week, and we've got our own, so we'll have our own gym in there. We'll have a wrestle area, our contact area, our stretching area in the concourse. The AJ Bell have been really supportive with us and getting this up and running, and there's a big push. And obviously, I want a base and us to be based there. So we've got a training venue now with access to a 3G field, a field, obviously the indoor, our concourse for the wrestle area, our functional movement stretches, and obviously a high quality gym, hopefully by the end of the week and stuff. And gives us something for the boys again to create that environment what we want to create, and create something where they believe the club's going somewhere, and part of that vision. We're big at the club of being progressive on the pitch but also off the pitch, and I think if you look what we will have as a club towards next week, we'll be in a lot stronger position as a club with roots put in places and structures in place. So no matter what, we move forward as a club, and that's what we're about. Like I said, I know, and again, being a nerd, and if you read the book Good to Great, it's about level 5 leadership and leaving. Do you know what I mean? If someone wants to leave a company, then if you're a competent leader, then it should be able to run itself when you've left, and then structures and systems should be in place. I've got no intention of leaving unless Chelsea want to offer me a job. But no, I've got no intentions of leaving. But just saying that if you can leave structures in place, then the club is in a better place as a whole. Obviously, me and Allan are both the same, and that day we're 100% in, and I'm zoned in. And if I'm in somewhere, I'm 100% committed. That's me, and that's, if you look at, I've never ever moved from anywhere apart from when you got fired off. That's when you get old and stuff like that, and that's what happens in rugby. But that's, do you know what I mean? 100% in. You think to get somewhere in life, you've got to zone in and be part of something, which is why obviously what happened with the board and stuff was something, it was frustrating at the time, because you think you're building something and going somewhere, and obviously different things happened. I don't really want to go over what happened and stuff, but you sort of start questioning things. You know, you probably had the most successful team we've had for, I think it was 27 years into it, and the best finish we've had, and you kind of built something, and so you want to stay on with that. We made a big thing about my little lad's into Freddie Mercury. He's called Freddie, but he thinks he's named after Freddie Mercury. He wasn't, but he thinks he was. And we made a big thing in pre-season about the show must go on, and Freddie Mercury and what that meant, and as moving forward as an organisation. And the day, like I said to kids at school, there's your windscreen's this big, and your rear view mirror is that big. So you do need to look backwards, but you need to be looking forwards on what's in front of you and focusing on where you're going. See where you're heading. Look behind you and use what's happened previously to be a better version of yourself. But we've got to look forward. We've got to move on.
Definitely.
Yeah, brilliant.
You've mentioned, Stu, when you've sort of been chatting about your bake-off challenges and other little bits of banter you've had. Marvin Willis has asked, who's the biggest joker of our squad? Obviously, I think you think that's a key part of being in the squad, but who would you say the biggest joker is?
Allan. No, Allan is very good with that. Sometimes we'll play, and iPad Allan, as it's called there, iPad Allan. No, but Allan is good at breaking the mood, so sometimes we'll play, and if we've not performed the boys might know I'm sat at the front of the coach and I'm clipping videos before they've even got on, probably don't want to speak to any of them. Not that anything, you know what I mean? It happens in rugby, but Allan will go and break that ice and be that person who gets them back with amongst us and stuff like that on the coaching staff. From a player's point of view, Luke Waterworth, who I already spoke about, I know you've had him on. He's quite funny, up for a bit of banter. A few of the boys, to be fair, they buy into that, and we've got a fun group. They have a laugh. We're big on that as coaches. Want them to come and enjoy themselves. You know, obviously, say about the fundamentals of rugby, but half of that is having fun. And if you can make an environment where they come and have a crack and they get away from the family life or the work life for 1 hour, 2 hours, and then they want to be part of something and want to be part of that. I think the new boys, I think Brooksy's got potential. He did a glowing version of Jingle Bells just before Christmas for us all, because told the boys to train in a Christmas jumper, and he forgot his Christmas jumper, so his punishment was he had to sing a Christmas song, which I don't know if anyone's got any video access, but he had, if anyone needs any Christmas carol singers, he might be a man moving forward.
I've got it. If anyone wants it, I've got it.
Fantastic. Well, if you send us that over, we'll stick it on our YouTube channel. Fantastic.
Get it on.
That'd be brilliant. That's the biggest sort of joker in the pack. Have you ever had a player at any point in your careers that you've either played with or that you've coached, etc., that's just had no banter at all, and you just all look round and go, like, what planet's this guy on? Is there anybody that stands out from your playing career or your coaching career?
You don't have to name them, Stu.
No, you do. You've got to name them.
I'll be honest with you now. I think that's what you need to get right. Like, there's everybody's different, aren't they?
Yeah.
So basically, I'm just an outgoing guy. I like fun, like Stu said. You know, I can be serious, I can be quite disciplined, but my theory is life's too short because, you know what I mean? Unless we've been real poor and, you know, we deserve it and stuff. Stu's quite real, he's realistic, you know what I mean? And them lads last year, I don't know if you look at our results, basically, there was about 8 results we lost with 6 points.
Yeah.
So basically, you flip them round. So them games where we lost with 6 points, we were gutted, we were down, but it was important that we made them realise that flick of a coin, we'd have won that game. Don't be too disheartened. Your effort with her. Let's have some fun. Let's have a smile. You know, and we try. There's not many in our squad now who are quiet. There's the odd couple because they're like that.
Yeah.
But we try to involve everybody. You know, but some people don't want to be around that laughing, joking, taking the PISS and that. Going back to last year, we had, you know, the squad we had, like Rob Fircliffe was very good for banter with players and winding them up. Fantastic. And they won't mind me saying it, him and Ryan Gray, they used to have an absolutely fantastic banter between each other. And basically, if they'd have put a TV channel with them two, millions would have watched them. I'm telling you now, absolutely millions would have watched them. Because all they used to do was just rip the PISS out of each other constantly for the full training session, didn't they, Stu?
Yeah, no, it was good. From my point of view, obviously, it's just finding the balance. Obviously, as a player, I was always one who probably would mess about on the coach, even in changing room sometimes, but then know when to switch on. There's other players. Malcolm Alker springs to mind. He'd sit all the way to the away and he'd be no one would speak to him that way, he'd be laughing, having a go at us for laughing and stuff. But that was my way of preparing. I did certain structures, and again, my missus will tell you that I ate the same thing at the same time, and if I went somewhere, I took some food with me, and I was very rigid with what I did. But a big believer that I'm on a coach to go an away game, I don't need to be, right, no one speak to me because I'm getting ready for this. I switched on in changing rooms when I needed to switch on, because when I played an home game, that's when I switched on as well at the changing rooms. That was my thinking, but every player will be different. Some players, and it's about finding that balance, because you don't want someone messing around next to someone, not messing around, but, you know, having a laugh next to someone who's being deadly serious. Again, some lads now will have their AirPods or iPods or phones or whatever in. Do you know what I mean? And some lads will have the tunes. So at Swinton we have a bit of a boombox going, and Rodri's in charge of that. Or the lads take turns on who's DJing and stuff within the dressing room. And some of the din, what they listen to, I don't know what it is, but it's not mine and Allan's forte of songs before a game. We try and get them into a bit of the older stuff, but yeah, it's getting that balance between, obviously, they don't really know who Neil Diamond is and stuff, and along that notes. But no, so back to what you said, it's getting that balance between your team. You do have lads, some lads will be deadly serious and eating red meat, and that's the way they go, and another lad might be having a laugh. As a player, there is a time to switch on. I truly believe that, and you have to get your focus and get your talk right, because you don't, especially obviously a quality side, he's probably been there, done it, and they can switch it on like that. Like Melbourne Storm could probably switch it on. We've got leaders in there who'll switch that on when it needs switching on. We are a young side, so we're not in that position where we can just turn up right now, we're going out now and switch on. So we have the music off at the right time, it's off. Now you're preparing, we talk about what we're doing, what we're coming out with, what our structure's off at first sets. We have a little last chat and we go away and we'll see you in 40 minutes and hopefully we've got a smile on our face. But yeah, just getting that balance in your team, really. But you need your jokers. You probably need your aggressive players as well, do you know what I mean? And you need everything within balance, and that's the beauty of balancing a squad up.
Yeah, I think it's probably similar with even like any group of lads, I suppose. You've got like almost a hierarchy. You've got the ones that the genuinely funny ones, a bit like me. You've got the ones that think they're funny, a bit like Wayne. Then you've got the ones that just aren't funny at all. And at Swinton, we've got Ian Wade for that. He's about as funny as a fire in an orphanage. He's just absolutely. But it's a fair play to the lad. He thinks he's brilliant. So he's not made it. He went to school with my dad, and my dad said he's not made anybody laugh since top juniors. And it's like that's about 60 years ago. So it's
Norm said he's tight as well.
Tight as cramp. He's absolutely tight as cramp. He is. You say
this. Are you sure you're not on about your droid here?
Well, can I just say about Ian Wade? Sorry, Ian Wade has mastered the art of accusing everybody else of not buying a drink whilst flying under the radar himself and never buying a drink. So I'm glad we've had a chance to sort of bring it up now. We can just get it out in the open.
That's it. It's like therapy, this now, isn't it? I mean, I'm going to be crying in a minute.
It comes off your chest now, doesn't it? Yeah.
And when you used to play with him, if you weren't paying attention in the showers, he'd piss on the back of your leg. And that was like, I'm still scarred from that now. Like, no word of a lie. And I've got athlete's foot that won't shift, and I'm sure it's not athlete's foot. So I think Wadey needs to get down the doctors. Right. So since we've done a character assassination on Wadey, what we'll do is we'll move on to the next question as soon as I can open my phone. Right. So, in fact, question 7 and question 8, we can sort of put together. Andy Greenhouse is back because he's not got a life and he just spends all day on Facebook mithering us. And what he said is, do you think we're realistic? Do you think we've got a realistic chance at getting 8th spot? And Wayne Smith has asked, is it worth having 20 quid on a top 6 finish? So I think that I think they're asking, are we between the 6 and 8 positions? Do you think we've got a realistic chance of that?
So as a team and a performance team and obviously our squad, I don't like putting, we're going to finish at this position or X, Y, Z. I know we made a big thing the other year of when we got promoted of coming, I've already spoke about it on his podcast about we're going to come in the top 5 and stuff. And in a league what we're in with people spending a lot of money compared to what we spend, there's a lot of variables involved. End of the day, we want progress. We finished 9th, so progress will be 8th. Yeah. But why not 6? Why not us? Why not us? Mm. We've got a team. We're building something. Got a togetherness. I don't want to say where we're going. We do. There's a lot of things to throw in with variables with COVID. It starts taking 6 players out of your team. If the testing's still in and stuff, then it's going to have an effect on any team. If you take 6 players out of our team, it would have a big effect on the team we can put on the paper. But again, that's for everyone to balance out. Hopefully that balances its way out within the season. People have said about the season being moved back. I think the season being moved back suits us as a group. Pitches firm up a bit. We're a top of the weather team. We like to play, and the brand of football what we try to play and try to entertain. I believe we do have to entertain. We're an entertainment sport. You're not here to watch. You're not going to pay for watch 5 drives and a kick every week. So we need to demonstrate some skill on the field. I'd like to think when we do play teams, we do open teams up with our skill level, and the lads buy into that vision, and that's why some lads want to play for us because of that brand of rugby what we are trying to play. But yeah, progress. Happy with progress. That takes us 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll take any one of them.
Absolutely.
I
think Allan mentioned before, didn't he? So many games where there was only 6 points, between winning and losing. If you turn, an handful of them around, 2 or 3 of them around, that jumps you up a spot or 2, doesn't it? So it is doable. Obviously, it's not as easy.
Definitely, our battle is. We went to Halifax and lost. We beat Halifax at home. We've got to take 3 points. We've got to take 3 points from there, or 4 points, ideally.
Yeah.
If we went Sheffield and we got pumped first game of the season, we pumped Sheffield at home last game of the season. We've got to go there. That's the battle. If you take points off the teams around you, you climb. That's your battle. And it's obviously there is some standout teams towards the top end who are probably going in for promotion. But again, I'd like to go. I think we can competently go and have a go at anybody now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think what we're saying to Wayne Smith is absolutely put £20 on top 6. What's the worst could happen? Gamble responsibly as well.
Any of my mates who ever ask me anything, obviously we're not allowed to say about betting and stuff, but anyone asks me, I think we can win every week. So you're probably right. Not the best person for ask, because I'd just say, yeah, we'll beat them, we'll smoke them. No,
you do realise now, Stu, they're all going to be emptying the copper jars and lumping it on now, don't you?
No, obviously, once put for a bet on it, I don't know what odds are and stuff. Like I said, we're not allowed to talk about betting and stuff, so yeah.
We'll move on from that.
Hang on, before you move on, I think Alan's had about 4 things to say, and he's been cut off about 1 million times. I've been looking away.
Alan.
Go on, Al, what were you saying?
Just going back to that.
Right, that's enough. Thanks for your time. No, go on, mate. Off you go.
Just going back to that. I know, Stu, it's tough for Stu to answer them because, but I'll be honest with you, top 8 finish, definite. 20 quid. A takeaway is 20 quid. So don't have a takeaway next weekend. If you like a little flutter, bang it on. What's worse can happen? So that's me saying it, because I can say it, because I'm his right-hand man. But with what I see and how hard he works and how hard everybody else works, we're coming in top 8. We're improving on where we were last year, and we were 9th, so we're in 8th. I don't care what anybody says. And like I said, we can't bet, so scrap your takeaway weekend and get it on.
Brilliant.
There's a beer that comes in.
What we'll do then, what we'll do, Barney, we'll get our bets on tomorrow before we release it. And we'll get better odds, won't we? Before they all throwing all the money on. So cheers for that, Al. We'll be on that, yeah. I'm
reckoning, if every single Swinton fan put 20 quid on, the odds aren't going to fluctuate that much, are they? I mean, it's let's call a spade here. I mean, yeah, it might be a little bit different if somebody threw $1 million on us, but I mean, 20 quid here and there is not going to make a blind bit of difference. And what I'm trying to do there is put Wayne off so I can get my bet on first.
Yeah, I know the game. I'm gonna change the subject a little bit here, lads, and this is for both of you. This has come from, I've deleted the bit. Sorry, it come from Tim Fence, and he had to rewrite it a little bit. We won't go into that, but basically he's asked, you've both been at the club a while now, what are your feelings now of Swinton as a club, the fans, the makeup of the club, just everything about it? How do you actually feel now about the club that obviously you both still are, but,
I hate it. Can't stand it. No time for the fans.
Oh, that's all right. Keep going. Just keep going. That's good. Yeah.
Somebody else at the club used to talk like that. I can't remember who it was.
Joking apart, obviously when Stu asked me if I come on board, yeah, I jumped at the chance. And since then, it's just been great. I'll be totally honest with you. You know, the first few weeks, the first few months, you know, people don't really know you. You don't know them. You know the players going on the fans here now, basically. But basically, once you start showing how much it means to you, I hope people can see that I've not just come on board for a bit of extra money and just get better myself and it's a stepping stone. I've come on board because it matters. I feel as though I can bring something to the club. I'm passionate in what I do with my rugby, so there's no difference there. I'll go that extra yard, I'll go that extra metre, whatever I have to do, I'll do, as long as it improves the club and it makes the supporters happy, it makes my boss happy. As long as it doesn't affect my life at home, you know, I'm 100% behind the cause. The fans are great. You know, I know Barney said before, there's not a great lot, but put it one way, when we play away, you can certainly hear them every single week for every single minute of game. And you might not realise that, but it's massive for the players and the staff. But yeah, to be honest, we're in it 100% here. And if we are, only good things can come of it, I think, anyway. Stu?
Obviously, I'm going into my 7th season now at Swinton. Started obviously back with Duffs and stuff. And what it means to me is to talk about Swinton Lions family, and as a club and as a coach, we have obviously 5 club ethoses, what we go, our trademarks, what we run by, which is hard work, honesty, humble, family, and adaptable, which family is a big one in that. And I said, obviously, we have a family call on our line because you defend your line like you're defending your family. We try to make a family. End of the day, my brother does something wrong, I've got to tell him. Or my sister does something wrong, you pull her up on it. But we're still family. There's times where I've got to tell someone that's not quite right, or we do it a bit different, or this is how we get better. And you've got to be honest with each other. So it's big on that. But the thing that rings on with me is, I talked before, and I remember when I was still playing, and we had a bit of money troubles. And I remember that the fans all bought us just a little gift, and it was for the lads in the changing rooms, and they bought me something for my 2 boys. And it meant a lot to me that someone went, we hadn't got paid. We hadn't got paid that time, and wasn't really extravagant gift or anything like that, but someone had the thought process to think, oh, the lads might be struggling, and go and buy them a gift for the families and that. And he ran on with me that, and we got people, genuine people like Allan, the kit man. He's trying to give me I was the captain at the time. He's trying to give me £200 for the boys, and I said, we're not taking that off you. End of the day, it is what it is. We're not taking that off you. You know. But his heart's in the club, and you've got people that bleed Swinton, and that's good. The one thing that we do need is a unified approach with everybody on board. The stuff you guys are doing with the podcast, it's great. It gets the lads out there, it gets the club out there, it gets exposure. We've got to all pull in the same direction, because we're not a big enough club where we can have someone going in that direction, someone going in that direction, and all pulling each other apart underneath the team, which is, end of the day, it's all about the team. It's got to be the lads. It's got to be the players. There's Swinton Lions. They're the players. They've got the heritage numbers. They're the ones who can do anything about winning and losing. We can facilitate that as coaches and put a game structure in place. They've got to carry that plan out. They've got to hold your dreams. They've got to perform for you guys as fans. Do you know what I mean? And that's to perform for themselves and perform for the families. But that's a big onus and big on players. And again, with the All Blacks have a bit of an ethos going with what they're saying. If you leave the jersey in a better position than what you picked it up, you've done your job. Because end of the day, that jersey is never going to be yours. It wasn't mine. Yeah, I was the owner of number 3 shirt at Swinton for 2 seasons. I'd like to think I left it in a better position than what I picked it up in. But again, it's up to our players now to leave it again in a better position. Whether that be 1 year with Swinton or 10 years with Swinton, you do your job on that, you've left the club in a better place. You've seen your contract out. And again, you go with our best wishes, and that's life. Do you know what I mean? gone are the days where we have a lot of players doing 10, 12 years at clubs. I know Martin Midyard's different. Lee, Rodri Lloyd's on 7 with me, if you don't include his loan. So he's getting towards, and Luke Waterworth won't be far behind. We have got now continuity, which is what I wanted in the group. We're moving forwards. We've got lads who's been with us now 3, 4, 5 years. And before it wasn't. It was changing teams every year. New team in October. Go and sign another 20 players or 17 players, and we had a couple staying on. You can't run anything like that. You've got to be consistent in your actions. You've got to be, probably ourselves, myself and Allan was come under pump. We went 7 games without winning a game. Rightly so. We wasn't far off though. We was losing to big teams. We was losing to Bradford, who spend a lot of money. We were losing to Featherstone with 1 try, 2 tries. Lee, 14 points at home, from 1 point away. But we just said as a group that we got to 7, and there was questions being asked. We went to Halifax. Matty Ashton spoke about it the other week, and went to Halifax, and we did get robbed. Obviously, I don't want to get in trouble off anyone, but we did. Anyone who went watching the game, it should have been either a penalty or a penalty try when it gets taken out. If it's a penalty, we kick 2 points. It's winning pay for the lads. It's a draw away. It's 1 point more than what we had. If he gives a penalty try, we win the game. It's late on, we win the game. I rang the referees up, and I don't ring them a lot, to be fair. Rang them up the week, and he said, yeah, you're right. So we flipped on its head. We come in, myself and Allan, come into the change rooms. He said, right, we won that game at weekend. No one's got any winning pay, but we won that game. Ticket is a box. We've won. Right, we move on. So, and everything flipped. The mindset flipped. We had a young group, and we wasn't used to winning. We didn't go Lee and give them a game. We didn't go Bradford and get that draw. We didn't go Toulouse and win. So you've got to build that within a group. We've got some young boys who have only known we go there and we get beat. We go there, we get beat. We go there, we get beat.
Yeah.
You've got to change that. So then we flipped it, and then we went on a run ourselves and did 10 out of 14. Joined probably the form team in the comp to the back end of the year.
Yeah. I mean, the change was fantastic, weren't it? And like you say, it's the little things in it that just click. And then, like you say, but I think you're right. 10 out of 14. And
you can't get that belief without unbelieving. Do you know? And like I said, I believe every week we can win. And I know he does his homework. I know I've done my homework. And openly, the first person I will have a look at, and you can ask Allan, is myself. And it's down to me, first of all. Have we delivered the message? Did we get it right, the right message? Did we adapt? Did we change things? Have the boys bought into what we've said? Why have they not? If not, then we'll filter down. But it's always me first. I'll always ask myself first.
I mean, one thing I want to say is, seeing as we're family now, I must admit, Stu, earlier on in your career, when you played for some lesser teams, I did give you a little bit of grief, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. It was only a little bit, nothing too serious, honestly. And so I just want to say sorry for that, because you're now cementing yourself as a proper Lion, and that's like, it's cemented, it's done, the legacy's there. So everything, them like lesser teams that you played for beforehand, I'll forgive you for that. I'm willing to do that because I'm that kind of guy. And I just want to say thank you for everything that you do for the Lions, because I think being a Lions fan at the moment, it's exciting. And we've not had that for 20, 30 years. So it's brilliant. So thank you very much.
I think I'd like to add, Stu, like I said, going on what Barney said, having you on and Allan and having the lads on a couple of weeks, it really gives you the lift as a fan, you know what I mean? Obviously, it's been a long time coming to rugby, and it really, maybe sometimes you sort of forget, what you're missing, but just chatting to yourselves, chatting to the lads and Allan, it really gives fans a lift, and, really like, I can't wait. You know what I mean? I just can't wait now to get the season going. Hopefully sooner rather than later.
The lads are missing it as well. Like, obviously, I chatted last week, myself and Allan, with Martin Midyard. And he just said, obviously, as a player, you're used to that at the end of the week, and you're used to training for a reason to play. And now, by this time, we'll be playing friendlies usually. We'll be into friendlies now, with season starting early February. Season's gone by. So it has been put back a little. It's keeping them lads engaged. But like you say, we're trying to do different things. Obviously, we usually have a meet the players night with squad numbers. Our squad numbers are set to be released soonish. but obviously they'll probably have to be done remotely or Zooms and Teams, or I don't know. The club's on with that, and like you say, it's just keeping that engagement. I spoke with Matt Shaw last week from the League Express and that, and just thanked him for what job they were doing, because obviously there's not a lot to write about some weeks, and they're finding stuff. And again, to keep we and include fans, coaches, staff, everybody, playing staff, we've all got to do the best to promote rugby, because the more we can promote it, the more sponsorship comes in the game, the more TV money we get, which then more divvies out to the clubs. And it's a big circle, which I'm a big believer in. Eddie Jones said something in rugby, and you share ideas and it gets paid back to you. And wherever I've been, people's always shared stuff with me. So I'm openly, anyone can come down to any of our sessions. I'll share what we've got. And within reason, obviously I wouldn't share down if we were playing Halifax at weekend. I won't go and share my game plan with them. But obviously we would, anyone wants to come and develop themselves. We've had coaches down from Miners, we've helped out. We've had coaches from West Horton, and I'm a big believer in you get what you if you give something, you get something back, you know, and paid along the lines. But yeah, so happy with that.
Brilliant, cheers. Right, we've got 3 minutes 30 seconds left. Wayne forgot to remind me again, but I've got a little clock at my top now. Do you want to ask him Mark Stevens' question? The pair of them, sorry, Mark Stevens' question.
I mean, well, we'll finish on the last question, obviously. Mark Stevens has asked, is it true that there's no party like an S Club party?
Depends what party it is, doesn't it? That's the thing.
Hey, I'm just reading the questions out. This is Mark Stevens, one of our more educated fans.
It's
that was the best question he could come up with.
The best party is the Blackpool Bash party if you win.
I don't really want to get into that, if I'm honest, mate.
Oh, did you see the picture of Wayne after the Blackpool Bash? Did you not see it? Oh, it's brilliant. I'll share it on our Twitter feed. Yeah, so he fell off. He was in his wheelchair and he's going into a pub. Steaming, and he fell off the ramp going into the pub and landed on his head, and then his wheelchair landed on him. And it was like, it was absolutely, it was great. And obviously nobody came out of the pub to see if he was all right. And it was absolutely fantastic. So have you seen, look at his face now, like it wasn't funny.
I just love how the funniest thing that could happen is someone in a wheelchair smashing the skull in. Oh, it's a cracking day out.
I must admit that what you said last week when Josh Barlow wheeled you in at Sheffield away, that was funny. That was
one of my best things ever, that. I'm just trying to have a piss, and Josh just said, I'll drive it, mate. Don't worry about it. And just ram me in. Quality. Outstanding.
Brilliant. Right, thank you very much for coming on. If it's all right with you two, can we get you on in a few weeks when we know what's going on with the season and have a bit of a chat again?
Yep, no worries.
Yeah, I mean, if it's no, just be honest with me. With my family, we can take it.
No problem. Like I said, and obviously, good luck with everything you're doing, and get that message out there. Do you know what I mean? And the more we can talk about it, the more we can get people engaged, the better it is. And
yeah,
like I said, a big thing, a big push. We've got two areas we can focus on now. With Sale area and Swinton area. Do you know what I mean? So we can push on both and get some engagement from everywhere, and we should double up.
Go on, Alan.
I want to thank you. I want to thank you for making me famous. You know what I mean? I'm famous at last now, so
well,
can't thank you for that.
That's what we do, mate. We give people the big breaks. I mean, it's all about.
You know, it's all about the hats, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all about the hats. All about the hats. Fantastic. Right. Thank you very much, you two, for everything you do. Thank you for coming on. And like I say, we'll get you back on in a few weeks. Alan, you'll get to say something without being cut off, I promise. And we'll take it from there. All right, lads. Thank you ever so much.
Cheers. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Guys. Cheers.